Hi everyone, it's Elena from Elena Reads. Today I'm here with Chanel Washington. She is a Chicago based doula and the owner of her own company, Take Care Doula, and she recently started Books and Brunch, which is an experience for families to come and kind of enjoy story time and a delicious brunch. Can you
Absolutely.
tell
Thank you
me?
so much for having me.
Yeah, of course. Can you tell me a little about yourself and your career and Books and Brunch?
Yeah, so I've been a doula, a birth doula, for 6 years. I recently transitioned over to full spectrum doula, so now I cover postpartum as well. I've been a doula for 6.5 years. I've had over 400 births that I have assisted with different families all throughout Chicago and areas and surrounding areas. Um, I do placenta encapsulations, all thing holistic health in regards to birth work. I started Brunch and Books because I have a 3-year-old toddler who I homeschool, and a lot of reading goes on in homeschooling. And so I wanted to showcase what we do at home to other families, and it was easy to connect and contact other families because I had over a nice amount that I have assisted with in birth work. And so I just wanted to have something different for the families to come to and to experience and have Black authors or book reviewers to come in and speak to the children and talk to the children and the families and, have a moment of, community and bring their mothers together and enjoy over food, but also enjoy the reading and have the kids to have, a network for them as well and a community for them as well.
Yeah. And so, could you tell the viewers what is a doula?
So, a doula is someone who is a support, an advocate, someone who helps you create a birth plan, someone who is there with you for those 10 months and beyond to help you process pregnancy, the journey of pregnancy, health, nutrition, things that goes on in the hospital, just to be your advocate and support. Black women have a higher death rate than other counterparts in the hospital for childbirth, and so having a doula there just secures the safety and allows the families to feel safe and secure, and they are knowledgeable throughout that process of 10 months having a doula that's teaching them, all these things that goes into childbirth. And so that's what a doula consists of. We're advocates, we're supporters, and we fight for our families.
Yeah, that is such an important thing, and that's so amazing that you're helping, especially Black mothers. So as you said, you have a 3-year-old toddler. Why do you think it is so important for kids to learn to read at an early age?
Um, well, I've always talked to my daughter like how I'm talking to you. I've never did the baby talk with her. I wanted her to really grow up knowing how to talk and understand and comprehend. And a lot of that was just a lot of face to face with her, a lot of tummy time, a lot of reading to her so she could understand, listen to my voice and understand the words. And even if she doesn't understand it, but at least try to mock those words at an early age. And so just reading, which is, increases the comprehension. I did that a lot with my daughter. Um, because I homeschool as well. So it just played a part in what our daily routine was and still is. Um, but yeah, I enjoy reading and I love to read to her. I love that she can just pick out a book and she's like, I want to read it. And now she's at a point where she doesn't know how to read, but she sits on the couch with a book and she'll just come up with her own imagination what those words would look like. And so that's what I'm encouraging, and I see that she's interested because I've done it for the first 3 years of her life of just always reading to her, always, explaining things to her, elaborating on things so she can have a better understanding on what things are and what nouns are, what verbs are, and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, what are some of your favorite books that you like to read to your daughter? And why are they
Um,
your favorites?
Yeah, so I do a lot. I have a lot of like Black author books. So we have like ABC, I Love Me, a lot of books that's affirming and that encourages kids. And then we just love to sing and dance. So I do a lot of just like different voices while I'm reading so she can just still be engaged. And so ABC, I Love Me is like her favorite book that I love to read. goes to the alphabets, but it tells you like A is amazing, and so we put her name in that, just so it can be more personable. Um, we also have, it's another book by Grace Byers. I can't think of the name, but it's like a hair book. So she's like,
Yeah.
and she loves her hair, and teaching her about her curly hair and letting her know that it's beautiful, and things of that nature. But ABC, I Love Me is like her favorite like affirmation book, and it's
Okay.
also by a Black author.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that one. I'll have to check that one out.
Mhm.
So, how have you guided kids beyond birth?
So postpartum, really, I would do overnight postpartum care. So once the mom is home with the newborn baby, I come over at night. I do an overnight shift. So either that's like 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. or 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. I allow the parents to sleep and rest and catch up on all the lack of sleep that they have missed with their newborn baby, and I tend to their newborn. So whether I am doing bath time, I'm doing bottles, I'm reading to their baby, I'm doing tummy time with their baby. Outside of my own child, I'm not like I don't have a community of little babies, but my community is going home to my doula clients as a postpartum doula and helping them, with their newborn baby. So I do all of the night care with them. And reading does take place in that because I'm in the nursery most of the time. So their books when they're up and they don't want to go back to sleep, we'll definitely like read and do tummy time together. And so I continue that process as well.
Nice. Also, I believe the book you were talking about, is it called I Am Enough?
I am enough. Yes, yes, I am
Yeah.
enough.
I
That's
reviewed
one
that
of
on
my
my blog.
favorites. Yeah.
Um, so why do you love reading?
Um, I love reading because I get to explore. I get to open up my imagination. I did spoken word in high school, so I did a lot of reading in regarding just poetry and literature, and that was one of my favorite studies, African American literature. So I did a lot of reading in high school, and I just know like reading is very fundamental. It gets you where you need to go. It gives you all the answers that you need, and so incorporating that in parenting has been easy for me because I was already reading. I don't have like a favorite book, or I have a favorite author, which is Zora Neale Hurston. So I read a lot of Zora Neale Hurston books. But I always enjoyed reading, even when I was younger. I would be able to go to the library or any like free book clubs. I would always like love to join those clubs as well.
Nice. And why is Zora Neale Hurston your favorite author?
I love the Black Renaissance era in Harlem, New York, hence why I named my daughter Harlem. Um, because I just love that time. It was just Black power, it was Black unity. We were circulating the money in the Black community, and we had all these great entrepreneurs at that time. And we still have great entrepreneurs in this time as well. But the Black Renaissance era was just like impeccable to me. And so I just always took heed to Zora Neale Hurston's story and her documentaries and things of that nature. And I also enjoy Michael Eric Dyson. He's a teacher, but he's a great author as well.
Okay, I'll have to look into them. I
Yeah,
haven't
he's
read
good.
any of their works, so
I think I want to say he's at Harvard, but yeah, he's amazing. He's written a lot of books.
okay. So you also said you did African American literature. What was that class like?
So that was my first time actually having an African American teacher.
Oh,
Um, like throughout middle school, I never had a Black teacher, but my senior year in high school, I had a Black teacher. His name was Mr. A, and we watched The Matrix in his class, and he broke down The Matrix um, just very well. I didn't have a teacher that just was very elaborate on education. And so I always took heed to listening to him and trying to understand, the way of, his concepts on teaching and learning from him. But the class was great. I think majority of us basically passed that class because we were just so intrigued with Mr. A. He was very comedic as well. So he would teach, but it was very in a comedic way. And so it kept us engaged. And that was our first time having like a Black teacher. So we were just all just like very, just like, oh my God, we have a Black teacher. Like we've never seen that. Um, so that was very interesting for me. And then I went to a HBCU after high school, so that I was able to see a lot of Black teachers. But
Mhm.
up until my senior year of high school, I didn't have any. So I was just very happy to just be in that space.
Yeah, and that's really great that you kind of saw yourself in these teachers and that
Yes,
you hadn't seen anything like that in
absolutely.
the other years. Thank you for inviting me to Books and Brunch. It was really fun. Do you have anything else planned?
So I do want to make it annually. So I already have a date for next year in August. It'll be August 10th next year. We're
Okay.
gonna do the same thing. We're gonna have more Black authors to come in and read to the children. Hopefully we have a little bit more children this time. The brunch will still be the same. And we're still gonna be adding STEM to the brunch and books as well, because STEM plays a part in reading.
Mhm.
So I want to continue having those projects for the kids to be engaged and be interactive while the process of reading and having brunch and books, and they can still go home with something. Like this time they went home with doing their own Play-Doh. So next year will
Mhm.
be something fun as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Um, I am where so Take Care Dealer Services is right now in Atlanta. We are going to the Invest Fest to just gain more knowledge on business, and we're excited to be here. And I thank you so much for joining us for Brunch and Books this year. We hope to have you back next year. Um, and thank you so much for having me tonight.
Yeah, thank you for agreeing to do an interview.
Absolutely.